second Motherwell Youth Awards, organised by Motherwell Youth Voice. In 2009, a few members of our group attended the Young Scot Awards in Glasgow, which recognised the good that young people do in their communities. It was a fantastic night, and our group decided they would do something locally to recognise young people's contributions in their communities. From that idea, the Motherwell Youth Awards was created.
Because everyone thinks young people are so negative and that they don't do any good in the community, whereas events like these help promote the good things we do.
Well, I think it's important because there's perhaps a negative stereotype surrounding young people, perhaps maybe a bit of a sort of lethargic stereotype, but events like this really give them the sort of recognition they deserve, and show that young people are really doing good things, helping out the community, volunteering, Duke of Edinburgh, things of that nature. And I think events like this they really put that in the spotlight.
Young people all too often get a really bad press. They don't get the credit they deserve for some of the wonderful work that they achieve, and it's absolutely fantastic to get the opportunity to properly recognise that.
I think it's important to hold these kind of events to portray the young people that aren't like the ones portrayed in the media, where it can be portrayed quite negatively. It's sometimes more just they don't like to say this word sometimes, but the Neds kind of thing.
Well, I was actually talking to someone else in this matter earlier on tonight, and the amount of bad press our youth of the area get, I was actually talking about the amount of space you get in the newspapers about the crime count and appearing in court every week is massive. But there are very, very few things that actually celebrate just how good our young people of the area are.
Well, I think young people today have got such a negative sort of label about them because they're considered to be up to no good all the time, whereas this promotes the good stuff that children actually do within the community, and it takes that negative label off them.
To stop stereotyping of young people, because there is good people who are, and they're not all bad. So
I think nights like this will give young people a better profile because there is so much negative press about young people just now. So giving some positive stories will definitely help that.
Well, you just need to look at the news or read a newspaper and you see all the bad things that young people do. The newspapers are full of this kind of stuff. Antisocial behaviour this, antisocial behaviour that, young people failing, not trying hard, etc, etc. So I think that doesn't tell the full story. Yes, there is some of that goes on, but young people are very, very good as well. They do an awful lot of interesting things, kind things, things that they choose to do rather than being forced to do.
It's most definitely not a fair portrayal. I've been involved in youth work and Boys Brigade work for more years than I care to remember, and I think the youngsters that I deal with do tremendous work in their community, are great examples to others, and I think the vast majority of young people should be celebrated for the way they conduct themselves in a very difficult society at this time.
I don't think it is at all. Maybe in some respects, yeah, but as a whole, I don't think so.
It is annoying, but then at the same time, there is young people out there who do that, negative things, but then you have to just think, there is negative people, but there is positive. There's always another side to it, so you have to just be better and go the other way and ignore it.
In some circumstances, yes, but I think it's just a minority. It's not necessarily the majority, because the majority of kids are genuinely nice kids. It's just the minority that give them that label. So I don't think it is a fair assumption of kids, no.
I don't think it's fair because they look at the bad points of young people rather than the good points, and they should look at an overall perspective rather than just what's got to look good in the news, because news people like to pick up bad stories rather than good stories.
No, I don't think it is a fair portrayal. I think we only hear about the negative stories, but hopefully this week the Motherwell Press and Times will be full of good stories about the great experiences that young people have and the work that they're putting back into the community. So I think definitely nights like tonight need to be celebrated so that we can adjust that imbalance in the press.
Well, we've held different events. We've done Motherwell Youth already. We've done it last year, which was a great event, but obviously this is better. Last year we've done Youth Be Heard, and that was a question time, and it was decision making, people who, like Councillor Ross or Gavin Whitefield, came, and young people from different schools or different youth forms came and asked them questions of their community or their school, what they could try and change. We changed Duke of Edinburgh. It's with your Duke of Edinburgh, you can get a free membership with your physical side, so it means people don't have to pay money and it saves them money and it's better. Also, we've done different surveys. We've done loads of things, but I can't think of the top of my head.
The residential. That was the local leadership award we got through that, and also I done the Silver Duke Edinburgh award, so I think it's really good for young people to get involved in this sort of stuff.
Well, there are a lot of, well, there's Motherwell Youth Voice, for example, the youth forum. We work with everyone in Motherwell. There are after school groups that people like to go to. There's drama groups that young people go to. Football is very important. So yeah.
I think they can go some way to doing that. I think it's always reality that impacts much firmer on people's ideas and their experience on a day-to-day basis. I think trying to challenge some of the agendas that are not led by young people, not led by the community, but maybe come from other sources that lead us to fear young people. I think that's what really that's what will really make a difference in terms of challenging the ideas about people and fears of young people in the street. And I think trying to build up those connections between the generations, between young people, and young people themselves are actually scared of older people, and older people are scared of young people. If we can actually just break down some of those barriers, events like this will help. And I think on a much more day-to-day basis, every single day, like pennies in a jar, they gradually mount up, and those interactions gradually mount up, and that's what will make the change in the end of the day.
The next winner is Louise Elliott.
Next winner is Andrew Mooney. And the second last is Gemma Scott. And finally, the last winner of tonight is Nicole Kane.
Well, it's been brilliant, brilliant evening. It's good to see young people getting a bit of recognition for what they do. Obviously, good band as well, really good atmosphere and things like that. All in all, it's been a really good night, and obviously delighted to win the award and things like that. It's good to know the hard work we put in gets recognised. Delighted.
Confused.
Tell us what you won your awards for.
Yeah, volunteer work in school and out school with special needs kids and music tuition and stuff like that.
It was helping out at a club in the parish. It's kids with additional support needs every week.